door which can take you to any past incident, but there is a catch. You can't come back. Will you go through it? Hello and welcome to every recap ever. Today we are seeing a sci-fi movie called Yesterday After Tomorrow. As usual, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such recaps and let's go. Let's start with a scene from the past. A man surprises his wife with making some tea for her. Meanwhile, the same man watches this heartwarming scene from a distance and returns back through some mysterious portal door. He was basically seeing his past and reminiscing about his days with his wife. His condition is also not good, but he somehow damages the door so that no one else can use it in the future. Fast forward to the present. Sana and her two sons Mon and Mazen move back to their old house. Apparently, their dad died in an accident at the house and it's been 20 years since that incident. Mazen, who's the older brother, is not so happy with moving back to this house. Their friend, Rakan, helps them move the boxes in their house, and yes, he is the funny one here. So they don't remember much about their dad, and their mom is also not ready to tell them about him. Both brothers also have different opinions and argue a lot. However, their mom always handles the situation. They then go into the basement to collect and check the old boxes. However, due to the heavy rain, their basement has flooded and some of the boxes have gotten damaged. Later, while unpacking the boxes from the basement, Mon finds an old video recorder with some recordings from 20 years back. They finally see their dad Hashim for the first time. Mazen was still a child and Mon wasn't even born at that time. They seem very happy and living a perfect life. Their dad asks the camera to take care of their mother if something happens to him. This totally shocks the brothers and asks more info about their dad. However, Sana just changes the topic. At night, while Mon is watching more videos of his dad with Mazen, Sana enters the room. Apparently, she has decided to move on in her life and look for a person to marry again. She wants her sons to meet the person tomorrow and give their opinion. Mazen is not so happy about it. He just doesn't want anyone to take his dad's place. Mon tries to make him understand that their mom always thought about their happiness, and it's about time they should think about her happiness also. However, Mazen is just too stubborn to accept the fact. Next day, the brothers meet the man who wants to marry Sana. He brings watermelon as a gift. Yeah, he's a little goofy and a very simple guy. However, Mazen just rejects him and asks him to leave the place. Later, he has an argument with his mom and Mon and goes to his room in anger. I mean, their mother never told them anything about how their father died, and this frustrates him even more. Mon tries to comfort his mother, saying Mazen will understand one day. Mazen then watches his father's videos that night and goes to check on his mom. He tucks a cushion under her head and sees a strange light coming from the basement. He quickly wakes up Mon and they go to check this light. So it turns out to be the door. The same door we saw at the start of the movie. Even though both brothers are shocked and even scared, they enter the portal. Apparently, the other side just looks like their house. Suddenly, their dad comes to take some things, and for some reason, he can't see them standing there. The boys deduce that they might have somehow traveled to the past. They quickly run behind their dad and find out it's a day where their dad and mom were doing the preparations for Mazen's birthday. Oh, and Mon hasn't even been born yet. Both of them are in shock, but can't help but feel happy seeing their dad in front of them. Meanwhile, in the present, Sana wakes up and realizes that her boys are nowhere to be found. She even tries to call their phone, but it just doesn't connect. Yeah, the boys are enjoying their time watching their dad and mom's past. So Mon starts acting up, saying that they shouldn't meddle with the past. However, Mazen has a different view on this. According to him, there might be a reason they are here. He even tries to stop Mon from going back through the door. But for some reason, the portal is not there anymore. Yeah, they are stuck in the past. So after sleeping for a night, they go upstairs to check on the things. It's Mazen's birthday today and everyone is in a happy mood. While talking with Mon, Mazen breaks a vase and this completely shocks him. I mean, they are still not able to see them, but they can touch things now. According to Mon, they might be materializing in this timeline now, and it won't be long that everyone will be able to see them. Everyone in the room brushes off the vase falling incident and starts enjoying themselves again. Hashim even takes a video of everyone celebrating and suddenly hears a knock on his door. Turns out to be his father. Oh, he's the same man we saw at the start of the movie. So his dad and Hashim don't go well together because he abandoned him in the past due to some reasons. However, he has realized his mistake and even brought a present for his grandson. Hashim is still angry with him and doesn't allow him inside. At night, he realizes that it was Sana who invited him. She just wants him to solve all the issues with his dad and forgive him. He thinks for a while and goes to the kitchen to have some water. Suddenly, he sees Mazen and Mon. I mean, they have completely materialized now. Mazen tries to tell his dad that he is his son, but Hashim doesn't believe him and thinks they are thieves. He throws them out of the house. Now they are left with nothing. They take a taxi to roam around the city and think what they should do next. Meanwhile, in the present, Sana starts getting worried more and more about her boys. She calls their friends to know if they are at their place and even goes to search for them. With no luck from even the police, she just starts missing her husband. She plays the video of Mazen's birthday and miraculously finds both adult Mazen and Mon standing there. This totally shocks her and she starts wondering what is exactly happening here. Meanwhile, the boys go on a city tour. Yeah, they don't have money. They have new money which is not even issued yet. So they just flee from the taxi and even steal some drinks in the supermarket. Mon is not happy with his behavior and they even have multiple arguments where he points out that Mazen is just thinking about himself and taking these things lightly. The next day, they see Hashim taking Mazen to a hospital. Apparently he got wounded due to the broken vase. Oh, and apparently the wound also appears on the adult Mazen. It is becoming clear that their actions are affecting the present. On the other side, Sana calls Rakan and shows him the tape of Mazen's birthday. Yeah, the guy thinks it's photoshopped, but later starts believing that both boys have somehow traveled back to the past. In the past, the boys sneak into the house again and go to check the door portal. Apparently, it is still not working. Now both of them start getting worried. They deduce that there might be some way to open the portal from the other side. Mon suddenly gets an idea and goes to the kitchen. He carefully removes a kitchen tile and keeps a note below it explaining everything. Mon is pretty sure their mom from the present is desperately searching for them and she would see the note. Meanwhile, Sana and Rakan check all the tapes and don't find any clue of their presence. Later, Sana checks through every other belonging searching for at least a single clue. She is very desperate to find her sons and even hurts herself in the process. Finally, she stumbles upon the disoriented tile in the kitchen and finds the note. She realizes that her sons are really in the past and the only way is the basement door. Meanwhile, Hashim returns and again sees both of them. He's about to call the police, but the boys stop him and just ask him to listen. They tell him everything about how they got here and who they really are. He doesn't believe him, so Mazen shows him the watch which Hashim is wearing. They are both the same watches with exact same broken glass. Even though it's difficult to trust them, he starts believing them. He then asks them about their mom in the future, and they just stay silent. He is a little shocked to see Mon. He is not even born yet. They then show Hashim the door where they came from. Mon basically explains the theory he has and Hashim believes him. He even asks boys to stop fighting among themselves. Meanwhile, Sana and Rakan see the door and realize there is no portal there. Sana remembers her father-in-law talking about this door in the past and breaking it. She quickly goes with Rakan to meet her father-in-law. He's currently not in a good state and has a very short memory. He keeps asking about Hashim and how he's been doing. However, during a conversation she hears a peculiar thing. Apparently the condition around the door triggers the portal. She quickly goes home and starts filling the basement with water, as the basement was flooded when the portal triggered. On the other side, Mazen's toy car, which is put on the charge, starts the fire. The boys realize that it is the day when they lose their dad. They try to find him but start suffocating due to the fire. So Mazen takes Mon to the basement and goes to save his dad. Their dad on the other side is in the kitchen searching for Mazen. Hashim is injured and losing a lot of blood. He finds Mazen hiding in the kitchen. He got scared and hid in the kitchen. Suddenly the portal starts glowing and Sana comes from the other side and takes Mon back. She goes back again to look for Mazen. She meets herself from the past and explains the situation. Meanwhile, Mazen comes into the kitchen and sees his dad injured. He quickly asks Mazen to take the boy outside. He gives the kid Mazen to Sana and old Sana and asks them to leave. He goes inside to save his dad. He tries his best to get him walking, but he has already lost too much blood. Hashim finally realizes why his boys were silent when he asked about the future. He asks him to take care of their mother. Meanwhile, both Sana escape the house. The old Sana tells her to take care of the boys and raise them to be good human beings. She goes inside to get Mazen and finally meets Hashim again. They want to talk a lot but can't due to the condition around them. With tears in both of their eyes and the memories, they bid farewell. Sana pushes Mazen through the portal and follows him behind. They come back to the present. Mazen finally realized why their mother never told them how their father died, as Mazen was the reason for it. She never blamed him though and raised them with love. This gives him a lesson of her mother's sacrifices for them and he hugs her. A few days goes by and Mazen and Mon are back to normal. However, Mazen has fully changed now. He is more responsible now and has started valuing people around him. He even calls the watermelon guy and asks him to meet their mom once again. But this time without the watermelon.